I'll ask a question. So, after you spoke, I thought about how we could make differences around us if we had role models practicing what he spoke about. So I wonder if you have thoughts about how we can grow such role models. Otherwise, I feel that a lot is taking place in the private sphere, when we don't see others practice. There's less change in the world around us.
Well, I think perhaps it's an individual thing in the sense all of us have different capacities and different abilities. So Ajahn Chah used to say, even if no one else sees you, if you're practicing the Dhamma, not harming anybody, trying to cultivate mindfulness, you say doing the right thing, and even if nobody sees you, it's still good. It's still helping the world. But then of course if you have some extra energy and knowledge and skills and you can share it with others, well, all the better. So Ajahn Chah, my teacher, how did he start? He wandered around the forests of Thailand, practicing meditation, learning the Dhamma, and then he settled in a forest not far from his home village. But just him and a couple of monks living with absolutely no facilities, infrastructure, just camping in the forest. And I don't think he had a master plan to become a really famous Dhamma teacher, but because of the sincerity of his practice, the integrity of his practice, the energy of his practice, and then the wisdom and understanding he gained, little by little people joined him. Monks and novices, and later nuns, and then lay people started to come, and gradually he built a monastery, quite a large monastery with many monks, many nuns, and then many branch monasteries started with his students going off and starting other monasteries, until now there's hundreds of branch monasteries all over the world. So you can do it that way. You just start with yourself and this sincere wish to practice and to know the truth and practice what the Buddha taught. And then as you practice little by little, maybe you can influence some of the people around you. But not in a way that you want to convert everyone, or you have to go out and make everyone see the benefits of Dhamma like you can see and sort of force yourself onto others, but just through the power of good behavior and good practice, little by little other people are going to be affected. So you start with the people you're closest to. So if you have children or a partner, if you're trying to practice what the Buddha taught, practice generosity, live your life in a moral way, practice mindfulness, try to cultivate some deeper wisdom as the Buddha taught, the people who live with you will notice that. They may follow you to a certain extent, they may follow you a lot, may not follow you much at all, but they should notice it. Because if you're living in a good way, the people who are closest to you, they pick up on that, they notice. You don't bully them, you don't get angry with them, you don't exploit them or take advantage of them. There'll be people who notice that, from my experience, and they appreciate it. Like many people come to our monastery, and I think other monasteries are the same. They come and they say, I don't have much time to come to the monastery, once in a while I'll come, but just knowing that monks are there in the forest, practicing meditation, living very simply, practicing kindness, practicing mindfulness, is enough to keep me going, they say. So we shouldn't underestimate, people will often notice somebody who's doing good, but they may not join in, they may not follow, but they may notice it, and that already has a good effect. But of course, if you develop any skills in teaching or setting up Buddhist centers like this and helping to run them like you do, that's a great service to humanity. Many people can benefit from this place, and all the people who help run this place. And there's the Bantes, but there's also the committee and the members, the organisers. They're doing a great job for many people to come and benefit from this place over the years, listening to Dhamma, studying the Dhamma, and all the different activities. So this is a very good example of how you can use your time and energy to help other people. And you just have to be realistic. You can't expect the whole world to suddenly convert to Buddhism overnight. It'd be nice. It's not going to happen, is it? But in your world, your part of the world, you can do what you can. You just do what you can with your knowledge and your strength of mind, and with your friends and associates. You just do the best you can. And good things can happen. You have to trust in that. There's the law of karma at work every day, and that's one thing you study in Buddhism, isn't it? Good intention leads to good results. Good karma leads to good results. So if you trust in your good intention and you have a sincere wish to practice the Dhamma for yourself, learn the Dhamma, improve your own mind, and then give whatever else out to other people as well, and you trust in that good intention, there's going to be good results coming back. Sometimes slow, sometimes quick, but from what I can see, if people don't stop, they don't give up their practice, over time, especially over many years, good things come, good things happen. And Ajahn Chah is a very good example of that. He just started with nothing, just in a forest, a malaria-infested forest with snakes and tigers and nothing there. And he ended up influencing millions of people all over the world. And in a very natural, organic way, just through the purity of his practice, the wisdom of his teachings, which are just coming from his own understanding. We can all follow that example. And some people, are very advanced and mature in their practice. Maybe they can affect a lot of people. Some of us affect less. But it doesn't matter. It's not a competition. So we just do what we can to help others. But you have to help yourself as well. Yeah, it's a two-way thing.
Hello, Ajahn. Thank you very much for a very positive talk this evening. It really made me feel like, there's so much that means in the world, but after hearing your talk, I sort of feel like positive and optimistic. My question is this: if we do not have a very good meditation practice daily, we go for retreats, 10 days, 11 days, we are very committed, but the rest of the time, if our meditation practice is not sort of like solid, do you think we can really practice Dhamma well?
Yes, you can, but there'll be certain things you have to do, won't there? You can make a commitment to meditate every day. Get up a little bit earlier, or set aside some time in your day, even if you're busy, just 10 minutes a day, minimum. I'm sure you can find 10 minutes every day.
But let's say I have 5 minutes, 10 minutes, which I don't think...
I didn't say 5 minutes, I said 10 minutes. You see, you're already reducing it down.
We know that 10 minutes isn't sufficient.
It is. That's the whole point. You build up from small beginnings, just like everything in life.
But let's say if it stays at 10 minutes every day, I'm trying to relate meditation practice to Dharma practice, Dharma living. And I know that if I meditated more, the mindfulness, the samadhi, maybe insight as well, I know my Dharma practice will be better. But let's say it just stays at 10 minutes a day, you think my my daily Dhamma life will be not deep and maybe superficial?
Well, you got to start somewhere, and those 10 minutes you have to be sincere in what you do. It's not just sit here and fill in the 10 minutes to keep the monk happy. Not that. I'm going to do 10 minutes of mindfulness practice, maybe with the breathing or any other technique, and I'm really going to commit and do it well for 10 minutes. The whole point of starting with 10 minutes is because if I say an hour or 2 hours or something, it's too hard and I haven't got the time. You start small, but we go for quality. Quality of intention, quality of discipline and practice. And ideally you pick a time where you can do that every day. That's why I say early morning is a good time when you have nothing else interrupting you, no other commitments. 10 minutes. And you do that every day. And you'll find that has a follow-through or a knock-on effect in your day. If you get up in the morning, you do 10 minutes of mindfulness practice and you're sincere, you really try, you'll find for the rest of the day you're a little bit more mindful than you were before. And then sometimes you might feel ready to 15 minutes, 20 minutes. But also, you'll be noticing how through your day you're more mindful because of this 10 minutes you've done in the morning. But you have to do it regularly in order to see those benefits. You won't see after 1 day or 2 days, but if you do for 6 months, every day, 10 minutes. And that's a tiny amount of time. It's the amount of time you spend brushing your teeth or talking to your friend on the phone. You talk for hours, but you can surely find 10 minutes to do meditation. But you do it every day for say 6 months or a year, I guarantee your life will improve. Your level of overall mindfulness will improve. You'll be less willing to follow more the negative thoughts or unskillful behavior, speech patterns. You'll be doing less of that. You'll be more content, more patient in your life with some of the problems that come up. Even from 10 minutes you can get many, many benefits. So start small, that's okay, you have to start somewhere. But not 5 minutes.
I want to ask you a question about the Brahma Vihara. I think there are 4 elements. The last element is the equanimity. What can we exactly do to make sure we stay balanced? That is up and down in our life, daily life.
Well, the Buddha taught that we have to reflect on karma every day. I'm the owner of my karma, the heir to my karma, born of my karma, abide supported by my karma. Whatever karma I do, good or evil or bad, I have to receive the fruits of that. And then everybody else is also the same. They also have to receive the fruits of their karma. This is directly leading to this quality of equanimity arising, because when you reflect on karma, you're reflecting these things that I'm experiencing, or these things that my loved one are experiencing. They have causes that are now coming back, bearing fruit. Everything I say and do is like a seed which will later bear fruit. And as I receive old karma, the fruits of my old karma, I have to be patient and equanimous with that, because the seeds are already planted, and I just have to accept that. But it works both ways. You receive the fruits of your good karma, and nobody complains about that, do they? It's only when it's bad karma we go, oh, why is this happening to me now? Why is there this problem? Why does this person give me so much trouble? Why did I fall ill now? Why do I have an accident now? When it's the bad karma giving its result, it's hard to be equanimous, but very valuable to reflect on karma at that moment. But when it's the good karma, we tend to go, oh yeah, I deserve that anyway, and yeah, that should have happened. Really, it's equal, whether the good that comes up, it's good that comes up, or something unpleasant that comes up. In both situations, it's your karma. Just reflect on that, and this has come through a cause. And you can do it very quickly to help free your mind from a lot of this reacting to things with love and hate. You know, somebody insults you, it's like, oh, I must have insulted them before, or I've insulted somebody somewhere, so now this has come back to me, or this accident has happened, you know, I didn't want it to happen, but it's happened, must be some old karma ripening. It can become a way of reflecting on your situation, and shouldn't be the only reflection you have, but it's what brings you to equanimity, where you accept, this has happened for a reason, for a cause, so I'll accept it, and particularly the unpleasant karma that comes back to us, but the pleasant as well. You reflect when things are going well and you're successful, you reflect when this has come through causes. It's not just magic, it's not just some kind of blessing from someone, there's causes for this as well. It makes you wiser, and that wisdom brings you equanimity. It doesn't make an accident or an illness any less painful, but it helps you to deal with it mentally, to understand what's going on and accept this karma that has come up here. Maybe it's just the karma of being a human being sometimes. You know, human beings are vulnerable to illness and injury and aches and pains. It's just normal for humans to experience this stuff. So part of the karma of being a human being is that you're exposed to unpleasant, painful experiences. You know, the world is like that. It's not all easy. It's not always pleasant. But there is some pleasure and some success. And that's also, the Buddha said, you know, reflect every day. I'm fortunate that I've been born as a human, that I still have my health, as long as you're not, you know, on your deathbed, that I've come in contact with the Dhamma teachings. The Dhamma is still available in the world, and I've met the Dhamma. This is my good fortune. He said, reflect on that. That's also equanimity, in the sense you're understanding the fruits of your past good karma have brought you to this point. You can practice Dhamma, listen to the Dhamma. That's your good fortune, but you've created those causes. And if you're not enlightened at the end of this life, you want this to continue, don't you? Next life. So that way you reflect, I must carry on practicing the Dhamma, giving importance to the Dhamma, because if I'm not finished with samsara this life yet, then next life I'm going to have to carry on practicing. If you throw away the Dhamma, and people do, they turn away from the Dhamma, they lose interest, they go the way of the world, or whatever, become depressed, sad, whatever. It's a shame, because it may be that they're actually taking away the chance to meet the Dhamma next time. So it's your good fortune, don't squander it. And when the bad fortune comes up, just accept them. This is karma, it's come from its whole, there's causes for this, so I'll just have to accept this. And it brings you equanimity.
And sometimes it's so painful that you want to seek assistance from external source.
Yeah.
Yeah. So is it wrong to seek external source assistance? So it's so painful. I mean.
No, it's not wrong, but do it in a balanced and a wise way. So, you know, don't just go, Buddha, you've got to help me. Buddha is not a God who's just going to sort of come down and wave away all your pain and trouble, is it? The way the Buddha helps us is he's given us these teachings which we now have to reflect on and bring up when we're facing that pain. You reflect, there's causes for this. And what did the Buddha say? How to deal with dukkha? Oh, well, establish mindfulness. Be patient, establish mindfulness. Learn from that experience of pain. And maybe as you become more mindful of the very painful experience you're having, you can notice things about it. It arises, ceases. Maybe you can notice it's sometimes more intense, sometimes not. You can learn from that experience rather than just react to it with more suffering and attachment. You learn from it. And that's what the Buddha has given you. That's the external source. You take the Dhamma and use it and employ it to deal with the pain. You'll notice that in meditation. You have pain in meditation. You can sit there complaining and feeling sorry for yourself, or you can pray to the Buddha or the gods, help me, or you can establish mindfulness and observe pain as a feeling that arises, ceases, it's not self. And with that insight, maybe you can cope with that pain much better. That's how the Buddha helps us. You employ the Dhamma that he taught in your experience every day, in different experiences.
So I think we'll take last questions. I know there's a question out front.
Thank you for your talk. I have a suggestion. You said that 10 minutes of meditation can be good enough. But in those days where I don't find energy or motivation to do it, can you give me a suggestion to keep going with the consistency on it?
Well, sometimes you may have one or two additional meditation techniques for the times when you're really down. So maybe normally you use the breathing meditation, but then one day you sit down and you can't even find the breath, you're very stressed or worried or angry, you can't settle down. So maybe that day you have to do something different. It's okay sometimes to experiment or be flexible. So say you're very afraid, you need something that will help to calm you. So maybe you remember the Buddha and the kind of qualities that inspire you about the Buddha. For example, this is just an example. You remember the compassion of the Buddha, how the Buddha had so much patience. The Buddha went through so many problems and difficulties. You get some strength as you remember the Buddha. Or maybe some days you're very angry because something's happened in your day, it's made you very upset, very angry. So then you bring up the quality of loving kindness. And you have to keep putting your mind on the thought of kindness for yourself or other people. These are just examples. But you have one or two different meditations you can use depending on the situation, how you're feeling. And of course, maybe some days you just can't sit still, your mind is all over the place. Okay, maybe do some walking meditation. You can vary it, you're allowed to vary and to try different things. It's not wrong. And so sometimes you have to accept, I can't meditate today, but I'll do something that's still encouraging mindfulness or practicing kindness or compassion, and do some act of service for somebody else because I can't sit still, so I'll go and do something else that's still useful and maybe bringing up some good qualities at that time. So you can vary a little bit depending on the situation.